Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a review of the battle-damaged knife-head kaiju action figure from Series 3 of NECA's Pacific Rim line. Not only is this a battle-damaged knife head, it is also a considerable improvement on the original knife head. You could almost say it's a knife head 2.0, because it is massive and makes the previous one look dinky by comparison. It also has way more articulation than the previous one. You can see he's got hinged little mini arms here that have a swivel at the wrist. He's got the hinged joint in the shoulder and the basic elbow joint, and then he's got a ball joint on the wrist. It's got kind of limited motion, but you do get full 360 rotation there. The legs, you've got the little thigh ball joint there, the ball hinge at the crotch area, and then you've got the basic knee joint, and then you've got this rotating ball joint at the bottom of the feet, and that ball joint really does help the figure stand in good positions, as does this bendy tail, which I don't want to bend too much because I really do use them to help stand. Lastly, he's got a swiveling head. It does just swivel all the way around. Can't get it to really go up and down much. And he's got the hinged jaw, which does look pretty awesome. Also, he's got a great joint at his waist with a lot of good motion. Now, let's take a closer look at the sculpt and the paint on this figure, because there's some great work being done on this. Just the sheer amount of texturing being done on his skin surface. This sort of leathery reptilian crocodile skin. I mean, the fact that someone took the time to sculpt all that and that they painted these little kind of blue lines between all those scales is just really impressive to me. Following it down to its tail, which is made of like a more rubbery material, it reads well. The skin surface reads well, as does the paint for the tail. Taking a closer look at his feet and just like the scales of his feet and his claws, and then the yellow paint for that kind of glowing element that the kaiju have. I really do like the kind of blue paint they've included into the darker paint. It really does help highlight the scales of the sculpt. Speaking of scales, you can see these little ridges going along his thighs. I think those ridges look really good. This is an impressive sculpt from NECA, I gotta say. And the chest looks good too, as does the kaiju blue blood. It's an interesting mix of a darker blue and like an ocean green. And this chest kind of stops here and becomes a second piece here with the this bone and his whole neckline. We'll take a closer look now at his back, which has its own kind of brownish color scheme, but a really gross, crusty, bony, lizard-like sculpt. Great paint though, and these little horns look good. As does the back of his neck connecting to his head, which is the knife head, literally. Lastly, I just want to give you guys a close-up look. The paint on his eye there, and the blood around his mouth. His teeth look pretty good. The inside of his mouth looks rad with the darker blue and the lighter blue. Now, one of the things that NECA does that pisses me off is they take the same figure and they repaint it and sell them as different figures when they're basically just the one same basic figure. And they've kind of done that here, but it doesn't piss me off, and I'll get to that in a second. You can see that it's the same arms, same body, same legs, same tail, same mini arms, everything. But there are some differences. First of all, this original chest, the basic sculpt goes all the way up, whereas this one, they stop midway and attach the head and shoulders piece, which is, different. Also, they have similar back pieces, but the horns are turned out a little bit differently. But they do start with the same base. They're painted differently, but you can see that lip, that ridge, is the same basic starting point with a different sculpt on top. Also, this one's green with like a brown wash, this one's gray with like a blue wash. Now, why this doesn't piss me off is if you go back and look at the designs of these kaijus in the movie, either like in the book, online, go watch the movie itself, you'll see that they, in the movie, use the same basic body type. The movie itself kind of cheated. And the fact that, like the aliens are kind of cloning these creatures, it makes sense that they're making very similar creatures. In fact, I think Scunner's another one that has the same body type. So I don't begrudge NECA for doing this, because they weren't lazy on their part at all. That was the design of the creatures. They chose within the movie to have them be the same body type and then tweak different elements of the head and the back. Unlike the battle-damaged Gipsy Danger figure from Series 2, which was just the same figure with no actual structural damage, it was just paint, This is not only a bloody paint job, but a brand new, improved figure with better articulation, a really great sculpt, and really good detailed paint design. I know that NECA is working on a Gipsy Danger 2.0, and I'm really looking forward to that because I really want this guy to fight that one. But I dig this figure a lot. Thanks for watching.